Wow, welcome to my Bajerski YouTube channel. Got the video working. Good stuff, welcome. This is the Pure Energy Healing Academy. It's a place where for the past decade we've been working on ourselves as practitioners, healers, people who just want to feel better, people who want to clear negative energy, people who want to improve on their health and well-being, and so on. So it often baffles me how even after 2 decades of working as a healer, how easy it is to not forget but ignore the signs that are given to us. And even more fascinating to me is how we choose to identify a certain aspect of the physical or the emotional to one thing. And it's very easy to do that. It's easy to focus on one thing. The reason why is because it feels better. One thing is simple, it's easy, and you can kind of manage that. But when the body balance is out, sometimes it's not just one thing, and we're looking for, oh, it must be what I'm eating, or it must be what I'm not eating. It must be the energy within me. It must be the energy around me. It must be the trauma of my childhood. It must be the environment outside and the toxins which are being forced upon us daily. It must be a certain situation that is something that we're working on, a productive job or unproductive job, or it must be a family member, or it must be my partner. Very rarely we look at ourselves and ask ourselves, is it me personally? Because all of those things are kind of exterior things that we put in, things that we leave in, things that are thrown at us, but not very often that we actually look at ourselves and say to ourselves, is it me? Which all of the above is equal to saying, is it me, really? Because it is you when you're receiving or not receiving. And when you're walking in the toxic soup, you receive. So what I'm trying to say is that outside of this reality, or is it a delusion? And inside this physical spacesuit is, I can't even explain how powerful and complicated the body spacesuit is. And when you go even deeper and you go to the soul level, when you really get inside and go down to your true being, the real you, that essence, that whatever you want to call it, it becomes so unbelievably expansive. It becomes like a never-ending whole that it's very difficult to understand, because the brain wants you to understand, and we've never been taught that some things are not really something that we can put in a box, or we can say 1, 2, 3, these are the steps to do it, this is what it is, this is how it works. We are limited by our belief system as a new type of God energy called science, that is everything, where we're starting to realize more and more that science knows nothing. It's just scratching the surface of what the truth is with regards to plants, fruits, vegetables, natural herbs, and so on. when science tries to tap into the spiritual, the supernatural, it's just a joke. It has absolutely no clue. Science can spend 1,000 years trying to figure it out, and it never will. So having said all of that introduction, which needed to be said, right now, including myself, there are many people over this past couple of years that have started to lose their, who was it who called it a mojo? Don't really know what that means. It must be a kind of trendy word, but I kind of see it as losing your energy. Not that you're getting older, although that definitely plays a part too, of course. You can't do what you used to do. The enthusiasm isn't there as much, but it doesn't play all of the part. It's just another grain of sand in this jar that we call this body, this vessel. So many people over the past, I'd say 3 months especially, have been coming to me saying, you know what, Mark, I don't really know what's going on with me. I don't know where. I'm not sad, I'm not crying every day, but something, I guess the closest thing I could call it is losing the spark, losing that I'm not me anymore. I'm not like I used to be. There is a spiritual aspect to that, because I think although we all aim to stay in the energy of being a child, we want to be that kind of fun, happy, joyful. We want to see life as we skip and do all the wonderful things with no fear, no worries, no heaviness on the shoulders. But in truth, each day that we walk this earth, and each day that we see breaking news, each day that more and more chemicals and toxins around us and poured upon us and enters into us and touch our skin, the sadness of more war, the sadness of people being sick, and sickness is the new black. It really is. It's a trending thing now, and we can see the lies and manipulations of them trying to cover up why sickness is becoming more and more. So the path of joy, the path of spirituality, in the sense of the path of peace, seems to be disrupted daily. It seems to be that there's rocks in the way, so you're finding it hard to navigate, to jump over, to walk around, instead of your path being clear and beautiful, and feeling the love and seeing the trees and feeling Mother Nature, and having those moments where you just know why you're here, and now you want to create and do something, which is exactly why we're here. All of these things are being stopped. They're kind of a very clever way of dumbing down humanity in every aspect of the mainstream. Whatever the mainstream is, in every aspect, it's like you're in a virtual prison and you're being dumbed down by the skies, dumbed down by the water, dumbed down by the non-foods, dumbed down by the black screen, always giving you fear, porn, beatings, war, all the bad things. So it's no surprise to me why, after so many months that we've been battered, hammered, abused, programmed, and we receive all of that from people who are totally into all of this. I've just come back from the UK, and it's plain to see that wherever I sat down, people are completely programmed. They have no clue to anything that I'm talking about now. Nothing. It will be like straight over the head. So what does that tell you? It tells you that you're in a world where you wonder why. You wonder what's the point. You wonder is it just me? You wonder, is there only a few of us who really truly understand what's really going on? And then when you start to think like that, it's, well, what's the point? Is it worth even wasting my time? And that is a slow build-up in your mind, because what you think, you become. And I think a lot of us, with all of what I've said at the beginning of this, added to this virtual prison that we feel we're in, and the day by day we switch the black death satanic screen on, because that's what it is, and we're seeing more and more the tightening of the grip, the noose that's going around our necks, and it almost seems like every now and again somebody might say something and you feel a little bit of relief from it, but the program continues. It never ends. There's always new things that they're creating to cause more havoc in this virtual prison that we live in. So without realizing, and people would say, well, we're free. Well, it may seem free if you just ignore all what's happening around you, but if you are fully aware and you're awakening to the fact that this is all planned, this is all by design, this is all deliberate, it's very, very uncomfortable and very difficult to walk a path of happiness and joy and sit down when you know the house is on fire, or there is a stick of dynamite under there, or there's a time bomb ready to explode. This is how it feels for a lot of us who are in this situation of trying to live a balanced life, knowing that there's madness and chaos and real satanic agendas around us. So I think I wanted to make this video purely and simply to say that a lot of us are trying to figure out what it is, and our brain tries to figure out one thing, trying to find the one thing that makes it easiest for us to say, okay, we can snap out of this now. Whereas I've come to believe that it isn't just one thing. So in my daily diet would be natural, healthy, Mother Earth food, free from toxins and poisons that all corporations deliberately place into. I work very hard on clearing my environment, my house, my academy, by cleansing and clearing it with sage every day. I work very hard on clearing the outside of my body of toxins which are constantly sprayed upon us daily, and I think that plays a major role. Let's not, on a side note, let's not forget the fact that we live on a planet where I believe that there is natural and unnatural forces that cause great stress to the energy that is around you, which causes then stress to the bodysuit. And I have my own belief system of the moon, but I also do believe that wholeheartedly that the constellations, the stars, the planets, they move, and as they move and align and go out of alignment, and one comes in, another comes in, there is a change of energy every time. I do believe that Mother Earth breathes. I believe that the cosmos breathes in and out. So when the sea is pulled out, that is an energy, and that energy is very similar to our bodysuit, because our bodysuit is made of 70% water. So if the sea, the powerful sea, has this energy to be pulled, then you, little micro dot of water, can surely be moved when the full moon comes or goes or whatever. There is also things that need to be talked about that isn't talked about, and that is the ever-growing energies, spirits, demonic, trapped attachments, which are always around us, and it's becoming more evident that there is more and more and more trapped spirit because of the passing of that that spirit into, or should have been gone to, our home, or wherever home is, and whichever home world you come from in the spiritual sense. And when that transition isn't completed, you can find yourself trapped. I think the word some people use is purgatory, but I know it as a healer and somebody who has worked in this field of work of clearing spirit trapped in between two worlds, as now more than ever there is this phenomena that more and more people are becoming more attached to spirit trapped in between two worlds. So these are things that need to be looked at, talked about, even though we can't see them. And sometimes we feel different. Sometimes we'll be out of character and say things or do things that seems to have taken over us. A lot of the times that is entity, spirit trapped, and it can be even heavier energies, which we call demonic. I don't really like to call it demonic. It's just very heavy energy and can be easily cleansed and cleared away. Because of everything that I've talked about thus far, I think it's going to affect a lot of people who are not of a type of awareness that you and I may be, because we've been working on this field of work for a while. We see the lies, the traps, the manipulations of the leadership of this world, this global leadership that's trying to, as it has done forever and a day, as it did, the Egyptians did with slavery, and the Romans did with the slaves, and so on. It's just words, but this world is a slave world, for sure it is. Look at all the child slavery, look at all the trafficking, look at all the everybody who gets up to work for a wage, and then it's just slavery. We just live in a slavery world. And it's difficult because we weren't meant to. And I think that a lot of the times, a lot of us are sick and upset and feeling depressed because our consciousness knows that this is not the world we came to. This I didn't choose this. I didn't choose for somebody to tell me where I can walk. What I didn't choose to be in this world for somebody to tell me what I need to stick into my arm, and if I don't, I won't have a job. I didn't come into this world for somebody to tell me I have to get up 9 to 5. That choice, those choices of what you want to do in your life should have been the most beautiful and powerful and the commandment of this world. First commandment, you choose, and that choice is everything, and everybody must allow your choice. You don't have a choice. You think you have a choice. The choices they give you is, George Carlin said, yeah, you think you've got a choice. He said you've got a choice of sugar coated donuts. There you go. You've got vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. There's your choices. But you don't really have a choice in life to live a free life. So I think a lot of the times within our consciousness, there is a cry out for help because this isn't the life we chose. Nobody should be higher or lower than anybody. We should respect each other for whatever we choose to do in this life, but everybody seems to be more respected because of how much they have in their bank, or how many likes they've got, or how famous they are. This is not the planet that I chose to come to. And unfortunately, it's either take it or leave it, because if not, then you're classed as a rebel, you're classed as dangerous, and you're either thrown into prison or mocked and ridiculed by the herd, because the herd follows and does exactly what they're told. So when you're a black sheep, so they call us, it's very, very challenging. So when you add up everything that I've said to you in these past 20 minutes, it kind of gives you an idea of, well, I'm hoping through this short chat that it makes you think about everything. Because the darkness wants you to think about one thing, and the system wants you to think about one thing. It doesn't want you to consider all aspects of being stuffed up the backside by this constant and demonic, evil, nasty, mafia type, global, I don't know what I want to call it. It's a club. So breaking free, finding your balance, finding your health, finding your well-being. Sorry guys, I've got people next door just joking about. Is a tough one. I think to leave, I don't really want to give answers to how or why, because every spacesuit that's watching this now and every consciousness that's watching this now has a unique way of healing. And you might decide to eat meat. You might decide to eat fruit and vegetables. You might decide to fast. You might decide to, go on a pilgrimage. You might decide to, but the decision, this rule of spiritual guidance, the number one rule is to follow what feels right inside you. And when given many different thoughts of what could be happening to us and why we're feeling exhausted, it could lead us to the answer. It could. I'm not saying it will, but it could. So I think having an open debate on everything rather than just one thing bothers a lot of people. And most of the people who are watching this now won't be here anymore because it was too much. It was too much. They just want one thing. And that's why shorts are so popular now, because it's basically one thing. And they're happy with that. And it doesn't last for more than, 1 minute. And they can cope with that. But long conversation like this, which isn't long at all. If you've ever been to a David Icke talk, it's not long at all. But it's like it opens us up to our thought. It opens us up to a more spiritual awareness that maybe we didn't see or we forgot, or like I said at the beginning, there's just so much going on. It's hard to see everything. It's hard to see the wood from the trees. It really is. But for me, I look at it this way. It's a bit like bell bottoms. They come back in fashion. My energy gets high, gets low, comes back again. I feel good, feel bad, comes back again. Because everything changes, whether it's the stars, whether it's the energy around the room, whether it's people in your life, whether it's the food that you eat and don't. Remember, your spacesuit is phenomenal. Some people say, I've been eating meat all my life. I watched a video of a guy saying, I've been eating meat all my life. You don't want to eat them Brussels sprouts. It's like, you know what? It doesn't matter. There isn't a right or wrong answer. The bodysuit fights, and you might have a really strong bodysuit and you might eat meat and you might live healthy and happy, or you might live like my friend that I saw last week, Paul Dyson. He eats junk food. He eats chocolate all day long, drinks tea with milk and just eats, tons of butter, butter and on white bread and just junk food. Never been sick in his life. So he could sit there and say, you're all talking nonsense, Cadbury's caramels and Cadbury's, and Burton's this and these, he eats 4 sticks every morning of Kit Kat. There is no right and wrong. And the bodysuit is powerful, so it does heal. Oh, I've had this injection, I'm all right. Yeah, okay, but other people aren't. And, you can argue your case towards meat. You can argue your case towards chocolate. You can argue your case towards anything. But I think the most important thing is that we shouldn't get too intertwined with the fear of what to do, because ultimately the fear is what causes the body to break down. And then whatever you do, if your body is living in fear, you can't heal. So I guess ultimately, I know it sounds crazy, and I'm not here to say do this, but I think I've met people who live in joy, and it doesn't matter what they eat, they're healthy. And I've seen people who live in sadness and trauma and fear, and they eat the healthiest diets, they're doing yoga every day, and they're getting sick, getting really sick. So there is no right and wrong. I just think what we should do is walk the path what feels right. Just like, how do you find your path? How do you know why you're here? Well, you've got to tap into yourself and figure out what is it that makes you special. And most people don't want to talk about that because you've been brainwashed by a child and growing up not to ask them questions. You know, you've been brainwashed to write and to dictate and to, you know, use your memory, and then you're a clever boy or girl. No. The real path of teaching and wisdom and knowledge of your path is to figure out what makes you a little bit different from everybody else. So for me, I was so upset when I first started this field of work because I wanted to be the Colin Fry. I wanted to be, there's so many amazing psychics, and I wanted to be all of them, and I realized I wasn't them, and I was feeling worse and worse when I was going to circle, feeling bad, and like I'd like to have these gifts of hearing spirit and all this, and I realized that I was walking the wrong path. I was walking the wrong direction, and it wasn't until I was brave enough to listen to myself and ask myself, what is it within me that is different from everybody else, and that is a beautiful gift. And a lot of the times most people won't face that gift. A lot of people will reject it. Most people are like you'll reject your gift and you won't look at it, and you won't give it value. So my gift was to feel people. So it's not like I could feel what that person was feeling, and that was my gift. I could feel people, and that, like, well, that isn't psychic. Well, you can feel somebody. No, it's not psychic. If you look at other people who talk to spirit and read people's futures, but I could feel people. So when I used to sit with them, I put my hands over them. I used to just talk to them and say, well, I can feel this about you and feel that. And I started having confidence to reject everybody else's gift, in the sense that that's not my gift, and good for you. That's amazing. But focus on your gift, what you're good at, what feels good to you, and what you know you're passionate about. Could be sculpting, it could be anything. So I followed that, what seemed really silly, stupid. What do you mean you can feel people? But I remember one day I was at a circle, and you know, I was not challenged, but you know, well, I can feel this about this lady, and I can feel this about this lady. I asked everybody if they wanted me to share it. Yes, please. And then I went round, and when I finished, everybody was crying. Like, and afterwards, they come up to me saying, wow, you really felt me. And I said, yeah. And I'm like, it's not really a gift. And they're saying, what do you mean it's not a gift? Look at me. Look what you've just done. Wow. It is a gift. And I had to build on that, because, oh no, don't be show off. Don't be a big head. Don't, you know, it's like, clear all that nonsense away. And this isn't about being a show off. It's not being about a big head. It's about trying to help people. And literally you were doing that to help people. And you had an answer for things that you felt, you know, and like, hey, maybe this is intuitive. Maybe this is something. So I followed that and rejected everybody else. And eventually, because of that, it led me onto a path of healing. So I started, right, okay, it led me onto a path of where I am now, working with crystals and incense and oils, and just making videos as I have done, 2,400. Well, it was 2,500, but there's been 100 taken off my YouTube channel. Thanks very much, YouTube. And so I continue to share that of what a lot of us don't look at, and we don't tend to focus on, because we don't think it's relevant, it's worthy of a conversation, or we don't want to look at it because of no reason, but just don't want to look at it. So we all have to work on ourselves daily, me included, every day. I'm up, I'm down, I'm happy, I'm sad. I work constantly towards improving the world the best I know, sharing and making people feel better. Yeah, I think somebody wants me to stop now. So there you go. It was a half an hour of a little chat. Tell me what you got out of this chat. Tell me what you feel. Tell me what I missed. Tell me what you feel is relevant to the healing of your path. Tell me what's relevant to holding on to that happiness, that joy, throughout the madness and the insanity of the world. Tell me what little secrets you hold within you that has helped you along your journey. Tell me about that penny drop moment that's just changed your thought and feeling. And tell me maybe the secrets to what keeps you on a good level, and whenever you feel down, what snaps you out. These are the things that we should be talking about, we should be sharing with one another, and we should help each other daily. With all my heart, thank you for being here today. I hope some of this made some sense. I hope some of this is thought-provoking and that you start to work on yourself like I do daily. It's never ending. Everything changes. That's the whole point. And we grow and we fall and we get back up. And that's the experience of this life. So may your day be wonderful. May your energy be lifted after this video. May you have had some penny drop moments in this video to help you along your journey. And I send you my love and all my healing thoughts, as I do when I make these videos. Every time I speak, I send love. And the only thing I want for you is to be happy and healthy. And that's it. Thank you so much for supporting markbajerski.com. Thank you for trusting in my shamanic tools, my oils, healing oils, my incense, and my beautiful crystals and everything else on there. I hope it's made a difference to you. I'm now taking Dominic from Sheep Farm, gave me a gift, and it was mimosa. So I'm on my mugwort tea over there. Got my mugwort tea and got my mimosa. So giving myself a good parasite cleanse, because we should do. And I'm going to crack on with some crystals now. I'm talking about some beautiful crystals. Have a great day, guys. Take care.